fundamental half guard tonight, guys. So we're going to work just on 2, and if we have time, 3 sweeps. So one is the knee tap. Everything's going to come off the knee tap, single leg. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up the underhook, which is what I really, really want you guys to do. So we're going to do underhook and a good solid leg exchange position. So we're just going to start with the drill. We're going to start here. Let's look at a couple of basics of the position. The first thing is that it's called a half guard, but it's a full guard because I'm using both my legs. Okay, so not just one of my legs. So a lot of times people think, well, as long as this leg, they either think this leg's wrapping this up, in which case now it's not really a half guard. It's very defensive. It's just me holding onto his leg. And there are some people who play the guard pretty well that way, but that's not what we're doing tonight. So I've got my top leg framing against his hip, or just like kind of onto his rib cage. My bottom leg, I'm actually going to keep off the mat, and I want it to block his other leg from stepping in. Okay, so it's going to be like a part of the guard as well. And when I connect my feet here, I'm going to pinch so that I like create some pressure on his hip. So that when Lee goes to try and just push my knee down, it should be difficult for him. If Lee can easily like push my leg down, my knee is too far across, or I'm not creating proper position with my feet here, proper pressure. So you can see that I'm crossing my feet, sort of toes on toes. Okay, not one ankle in behind the other, because that doesn't stop him pushing the leg down. It just flicks off like this. So I'm going to stack my feet, and I'm going to squeeze. And the idea for me is that, like, just the top of my shin bone, I want to dig into his hip here, into his hip bone. But it depends. If you're longer legged, that might be a bit too loose, and if you're shorter legged, it might not be. So you need to play with this position a little. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our underhook position today for the first drill. I want my partner to be reaching for my head and for my underhook, okay? And from here, what I'm going to do is come up, and then I'm going to suddenly take this frame away and sit up. So suddenly I'm going to take this knee away by kicking, and I'm going to use that momentum to shoot my underhook afterwards. So my hand is on my thigh. Here. I reach, grab his pants, here like this. Don't settle for anything except his pants. Don't grab his belt. Don't grab his jacket. Get the pants and try and get the far hip. Now take your top foot, wrap it up, and drag his foot back. Okay? So here like this, I'm dragging. The last bit of the movement is I'm going to knee him. I want him to do a half shin cut. The further into this guard he is, the better. So I want him to put his knee over my bottom leg. Okay? So I'm going to give him a little boost, and we're going to be here. Okay? Let's look at that from a different angle. So good connection here. He can't, like maybe he's like straining against my top knee. Put your hand on your thigh. Okay, look where my other hand is blocking his head. His hand can get to the head as well. We're not so much focusing on that today. And we're going to kind of slingshot up. I'm going to get my ear to his chest. Reach and get his pants. Just say back, one sec. Leg exchange, cross your top footer over the bottom. And from here, if he doesn't come voluntarily over, we're going to knee him. But so that he does. So look what we have here. His knee is through, and I'm pinching on his ankle. Okay? So now my knee is behind his hip, but his knee is through. Okay? And my hand is wrapping up his hip. Let's look at that one more time. This angle here, so you can see my feet. Stack here, good pressure. So now what we got? Good grip on his far hip. Can you notice that I'm on the pants? Lee's got to put a whizzer in here probably as well in the underhook. So stay tight here like this, and we're going to just pause here. This hand, still don't let him contact my face. So I'm going to here, be using this to block. Good contact here. Keep your head tucked in underneath. And really all you're doing is trapping the ankle here like this, okay? So I want his knee through. Everybody can see that. So let's go back to do it one more time. So this is what I want. This is all I want. Like we're going to set the timer. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. This is literally all we're going to do. Back again. This, I want to be like your instinct when you get the half guard, yeah? Good to go. We're gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. We're just gonna do that drill over and over, yeah? 3, 2, 1. Doing anything. All right. So look, I'm just gonna show real quick the principle. So, hands and knees daily. So, like if he's facing onto me here like this, what I'm trying to do with the ankle here, when I trap the ankle up, is if you just watch, right, that's his power position. He's able to drive at me pretty centrally, like if I'm in front of him here like this. If I take the ankle and I tweak, look at the way what happens to his hips start to turn, he has to adjust. So that's what I'm going to be doing all the time. We call it the knee tweak. So it's just a little minor adjustment of your opponent's knee to try and get their hip to rotate so that they can't just like drive in on top of you anymore, and they can't drive across you anymore. Does that make sense, yeah? So when we get here, we kick through. Don't settle for anything except the hip. So don't settle for grabbing the gi jacket just because sometimes you're under pressure and you think to yourself, I'll just take a grip, any grip. It's better, actually, for me, in my mind, it's better not to get a grip, but wrap the waist. So in other words, get to here, which I'll do like no gi, I'll just like wrap the waist. So it's better to do that than to grab the back of his belt. Or, the belt's gonna move and you get no control of the hip. The idea is to control his hip bone, okay? So the idea is to turn his hips. So when you come up, get here, I got a good grip here. Let's say he's a big unit or something like that. I can't get there, I get as far as I can. And I take the best grip I can. Now, he's got, like all he wants, he's facing onto me here. I turn his hip. Now his weight is going away from me, and that's really good. Okay? All we're going to do is we're going to do the first sweep we're going to do today is I'm going to trap that leg, drag underneath here like this. Okay? Optimally, his leg remains there, but it doesn't have to. Okay? So it's good that it's trapped there, but it doesn't have to remain there. Now I just need to change the angle. Knee tap, drive across his belly. I think about driving him sideways. Don't think about like pushing him towards his head. Think about driving him back across his knees. Step around, knee tap. And travel across here. Let's have a look again. Okay. We'll show a couple of key things. First of all, make sure your partner's putting in the whizzer so that the thing's really realistic. Okay, so he's putting that overhook on you. Number one, take your time on the knee tweak and free your other leg. Actually, a lot of times this is the mistake that happens if you watch the feet. People go here, and what they do next is they come up like this to try to like really trap the leg because they think like, I have to trap the leg. But look, if he whizzes me out, I'm just rising back to the mat. I just get pushed back to the mat. Okay, we have a solution for that later on, but for now, let's not do it. Focus just on freeing this leg, and even if it means not trapping that leg, you've still got a really good single leg, like you would have if you were doing stand-up, right? So if you're doing the position for standing up. So from here, focus on this, dragging this leg out. See what happens to his leg? Now open your knee here, start to step around, tap the knee, and drive through. Just try and work on getting his knees folded when we land. When I say tap the knee, I don't mean pull it, block it, and run. Just block it and run, yeah? This is the single leg goes. Everything that we're going to do is built off this sweep, so let's spend a bit more time on this than we've run in the others, yeah? Good to go? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Back to your original. Again, this is kind of, we're trying to, someone do me a favour actually, lower the stereo down there just real quick. Mark, could you just turn the volume knob on the stereo there? Because actually, it's not because you can't hear me. Thanks, yeah, that's perfect. Even if I have like a slight bit of background music, there's always like a YouTube automatic copyright claim to like I'm soundtracking it in the background or something. So I'm just going to go the knee tweak as well. We're trying to get the knee to pass through, if you remember. So I want his knee on my side. So what if you remember, the first thing that we did was kick up from here when we exchanged. We wanted the knee through right here. And if we're back here like this, right now, you're going to find that if you wipe your elbow here and just come up like this, you can actually come up nearly with your two knees together. Okay, so if we get the knee through, or if they commit with the knee through before. So the first sweep we've shown, they don't put the knee through. Okay, in the second variation here, they're putting their knee through, and we're actually going to keep our knees together this time. Okay, so we're not dragging the foot back now anymore. When we're in as we're coming up. So the last one we dragged as we came up. This one now, we're being kept flat on our back. They won't let us come up, and now we're going to drag. Okay, by bringing his knee through. So look, hopefully that makes sense. So from here, I sneak that up, and he drags me back to the mat. Boom. I drag the foot, and from here, I pop his knee through. Okay, he's going to try and sit back now, guaranteed. He's going to try and be fighting here like this. But I got my two knees together and I've trapped his heel. So what I did with my heel when I pulled last time, I'm going to do with my knees. From here, here's what we're going to do. Look at this. If I try and come up to my elbow now, he's going to put his weight down, pop me back on my back. Watch my right hand. Kiss the mat. Come up. Now. Ooh. Got a whole different variation of it, yeah? Okay, that bit's important. This is one of the things we do, like, from here. If I were to come up with my elbow now, my opponent's like driving his weight on me, it's not gonna happen. But if I'm confident that I have that leg trapped, the heel trapped facing the ceiling here like this, I'm gonna wipe. Come up. And this is why we got the hip, instead of getting like a loose grip. Because I'm telling you now, if you go with a loose grip now, your underhook's gonna slip off. You need to have a good tight grip on here, because some of you will find it really hard with your flexibility in your shoulders and stuff like that. So let's look again. So from now, I get here, he drives me back to the mat. Notice again I'm framing, I'm not letting him touch my head. I'm gonna exchange the leg, kick him through so that his knee is through. Now he's powering on top of me, really powering his weight on me. Not a hope of me trying to get up to my knees here. So I'm gonna turn my knees to the mat, bring his heel with me, and wipe my face on the mat here like this. Up I come. From here again, I don't want him to power back over here like this, so I need to get this free, but you'll notice I still have the other leg tap. Everybody happy enough with that? Happy days. So different variation. This time he flattens you back to the mat, bring him through to the knee cut, trap his ankle, and we're going to come up for our single now, yeah? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Some people leaving the knee stuck in and having some trouble getting them to slide their knee through. If they don't do that, if they don't slide their knee through, they're going to end up like kind of like this, which means you should be able to come up anyway. Because they haven't got the weight, they shouldn't be able to drive their weight, and they should be able to come up nearly to their back. They'll end up flat on their face. I'll show you what I mean by that. So, up, drag, okay? And when I get here, the guy refuses to put his knee through, okay, and almost like turns his knee to the mat. From here, I can nearly just like come up here and begin to go to their back, because they're not really doing anything with that leg. There's no base, no balance on that leg. Okay, they're just leaving it lazy on the mat and lying down. But even at that, some people don't want to come through because they know that the further they commit in after you got the underhook, the more chance it is they'll take it back. So I'm going to do something really technical, okay? Really delicate movement, very subtle, okay? Very subtle. Just when I get here, he stays on his knee. He doesn't want to bring this leg through. Watch my top knee. This movement is so small, you're barely going to be able to perceive it. Okay, here. It's called the knee up the arse. Yeah, I actually had poked him in the eye on the way through as well. So, what I'm actually going to do is, it's called a shunt, but like, yeah, it's a knee in the jumbo breakfast roll, as they say. So, we're going to try and get my knee in behind. What I'm going to do is throw him over. And actually, you'll sweep people like this. Because the guy will get, sometimes the guy's like so settled and so heavy that he's not expecting, not anticipating to be thrown forward. And when you throw him forward, he takes the two hands out and bases them on the mat. I'll show you that really quick. So when he gets stuck here, when I shunt him, he takes this whizzer off. I could just come up and begin to scramble to the back. Okay, that happens about maybe 1 in 20 times. But what I'm really trying just to get him to do is to shift his knees through. Okay, so that his knee goes between my legs. So let's come over this side here, Lee, just so we can do it this way. So I shift, going through here. As he drives me back to the mat, here. Just use this leg to throw him by. Okay, let's go back actually and just assume he won't take the Whizzer out this time. So I'm going to try and keep his balance up. He's trying to keep his head up and strong, his chest strong. He's trying to fire power across me. So from here, Shunt, and I got his shin through now. So sit back there now, Lee. Okay, you can see? I've got his knee through now on the mat. Now, this was the bit that people couldn't really do. Let's actually just adjust around here so the camera can see a little bit. From here, if I try to go to my knees towards Lee now, Lee's got a strong Whizzer in here now, okay? I can't even like practice it. I can't even show you how to do it wrong. Like, my elbow. I can't even do it wrong, to be honest. It's too hard, so you can see easy. You try and do it yourselves there now, easy. So instead, I take this off, I kiss the mat, and I wipe here. Okay? And this looks wrong, because it looks like I'm going to my belly, but the underhook keeps me safe for a couple of seconds. Now I drag his knee by coming up to my knees. Did you notice I didn't reverse? What I did was I dragged his knee with me. Now keep your head below his head, and then travel out. So let's do this a couple more times. Like I said, the variations is this and the last one are what everything else leads to. So let's try to get these really right, yeah? Let's go, 3, 2, 1. Alternative kind of sweep. So this is variously known, it's known by a name that I can't mention on camera in here, but we'll call it the knee tweak sweep, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reverse through, I'm going to move underneath him. We're going to go off the same position here now. He's going to go super tight, and this time I can't get up to my knees. But I need to always be kind of looking to get up on my knees. So I'm always going to be making an effort to make it look like I'm going to my knees more often. Because I want him to try and give me that type of pressure for this, that piling on top of me pressure, trying to drive over me to keep me on my back. And that's really how the sweep works, okay? So it's going to work with my free leg. So everything is going to be the same. And I'm going to really show you guys this side because I want you to see my feet more than anything here in this position. So I come up, he smashes and whizzers. Knee exchange, get his knee through, shunt him through. Now, to really effectively pile over me here, he's going to have to straighten this leg out and drive in here now like this. And now he's got good weight and good pressure on me here. Okay, this free hand here, I'm going to make a little pocket grip underneath his knee, like I'm punching his knee to the ceiling here. Okay? Look how tight my bite is with my top leg on his ankle, and look how much I'm rotating his knee and his hips here. I'm going to free my foot out and stamp my toes on the mat here like this. To some of you, this is like a difficult movement. We're really tight with the Whizzer here, Lee. Yes. Okay? This is going to be a difficult movement. Put your toes on the mat and not the flat of your foot. Sometimes you'll do this, and that's okay, but optimally I want the toes on. And from here, I'm going to move underneath his knee in like just like a clock shape, okay? So I'm going to start to just walk underneath his knee. Okay? This works. The more strength he has, the more they power on top of you. Oh. Turn your hips underneath him. So we're not rolling him over. That's going to be the really important part of the sweep. Catch, your leg exchange, get him through, trap his feet, my knees together. He's piling on top of me now. Feel that his weight is on you. Make a pocket grip here. Space your foot out. And what I want you to think about doing is going to your back. I want you to load his knee up on your belly. Look, you're like this. Okay? At this stage, you can seem like the sweep is over and you'll be tempted to run him now, but don't. Keep walking away until you feel your feet. And then spin to your belly and straight to your toes. Don't let me see anybody just like roll up onto their knees. Stay on your toes the whole time, right? Because when he starts to power back over you, he's still got a lot of strength and a lot of spring. Okay, let's try it again. Pocket grip under his knee. This lifts, but don't try and pick him up. Don't try and roll him over. Not happening. Walk underneath him. Look, I'll do it real slow. I was just waiting to see how long did we make that awkward silence last. Ready to go, yeah? I'm coming around. 3, 2, 1. Alright, I just want to do a little bit of kind of theory on it, like a little bit. I hate to go too sciencey or anything like that. It's not like it's science, is it? It's not like I'm splitting the atom here or anything like that. But if you want to think about the mechanics of what you're doing, if I could give you like there's a couple of sweeps that make this that make explaining how to sweep somebody in jiu-jitsu from the bottom position really easy. There's two things I always say. One is they've only got 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take one away and bring them over there. Okay, so like whether it's a foot or an arm. Okay, we're not doing that one today. The second one is create a space for them to fall into. Yeah, and the other one is the lever. If he's leaning, if you think about a perfect seesaw like this is you, by the way. Okay, the perfect seesaw like this. At the moment, you're like this on the seesaw, and he's over here. You're just sliding the seesaw underneath so that he teeters on top of you. Okay, and that's the same for a lot of throws and the same for a lot of sweeps. So all I'm going to try to do, because the reason I'm doing this now is because when we go to do it, and you try to do this sweep the first time, I will put solid money, at least 50% of you will just say, screw it, I'm just going to heave him over. Right, so what you'll do is, right, you'll get to here. Yeah, so just put your knee all the way to there. You'll get to here. You go, I remember that jiu-jitsu class, and then you go, and then you'll just quit jiu-jitsu. Doesn't work. So you have to remember that, like, what you're doing is you're just changing the angle for one thing, the angle change, and you're trying to go underneath them. And in this case, you're using the reverse grip to move underneath them. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. So I guarantee you, it's all right. Even though I've just said that, and I've just mocked people who do that, you're going to forget to do that when you're in the middle of the adrenaline is pumping in the middle of a round. You're still going to start and beat them over. So if you look at me again, through here like this, his weight, he's sitting his weight down on top of me. So all I'm going to do is be the fulcrum in the seesaw and move underneath him to create the sweep. And the complaint that I had over there was it feels too easy. Perfect. He's doing all the work for you by driving the weight down. You're just changing the angle of it, yeah?
Alright, would you do that if you didn't have the Whizzer then?
Would I do that if you didn't have the Whizzer?
Like if you had your neck or if you posted it, would you bother doing that?
Would I bother? I really like to sweep, so I would bother. If he completely forgets about the Whizzer, or if he has to take the Whizzer off, you can just come up and take us back. And that's the last thing we're going to do now, is based on that. When he puts the tight Whizzer in, we're just going to do the reverse high 5 now. But I'll just show that, like, I just won't answer your question, but so your answer is if he put like the headlock on. So just put like a headlock on, head. Yeah, I'd still do that here. It's the same. I know what you think. Guys do this to you, right? Scarf holds, start passing.
Well, it's just going to post with that hand, right?
This one? Yeah, it's easier for him to take off. Yeah, but actually, if he posts with the hand, he takes it off, you can still do the sweep because we're moving circularly. We're moving back towards his hips. Let's have a look at that actually. So we won't do this too much in the drill. So I want you to post this hand on the mat. So when I start to sweep you, you post the hand on the mat. Well, I'm actually going towards his hips by the time I do the circle. So it won't stop. That won't stop that sweep. Okay, we'll do one more, guys. Last one. Sorry, that won't stop that sweep if you do it right and he doesn't counter it. And all of the other things that need to go right before that sweep to go right. So from here, look, he's going to put the tight Whizzer on, but I'm going to successfully get to my knees now. But here he's not so easy to run over. We're in this dogfight position. Even he puts it on the mat here, he's not so easy. Okay, he's got to really go tight with that Whizzer. Hard as you can, hard as you can. That's what we're going to do. So from here, limp arm. When he puts the tight Whizzer on, he's forcing your arm and your shoulder down this way. Limp arm and come around to the other side. Okay? You can do this in stand-up as well, but for now we're just doing it here. The tighter the Whizzer, when I relax my hand, you have to do it like this as well, by the way, for your practice for like Broadway. From here, don't try and just go here because you get stuck and you end up back. You do have to like open your hand back up again. So here he goes, tight. Tighter he goes, tighter. Have your partner really crank it. and then run to their back. Okay, now get to your knees, have them crank the Whizzer on, feel that you can't run them over. They're using the Whizzer to prevent you from getting a single leg. Limp arm. Has to be limp as well, don't try and fight it out. Good? Okay, limpness shouldn't be too much of a problem for most of you, right? Okay, 3, 2, 1.